Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm here to talk about my 2022 reading plans, goals, and all that fun stuff. So let's start with my reading goal. So I set my goal for 2021 at 45 books, thinking that was pretty fair with school and work and returning to the office after the pandemic and all that stuff. Somehow, with all of that, I still managed to read much more than that. At the time of recording this, I'm in the 60s, so that's something. But I don't want to jump the gun, so I think I'm going to set my goal for next year at about 55 and just see how the next year goes. But I feel really good about that. I think maybe reading more audiobooks has definitely helped. I've been listening to them on my commute to and from work, so that has been great. And I do try to read on my lunch break when I can, so off to a pretty good start. So my next goal has to do with actually trying to read the books that are on my shelves before buying too many more. I'm not going to put any sort of book buying ban on myself. I tried that last year, it didn't work. There's no point in doing it. So instead of doing that, what I want to do is try to really prioritize the books that have been on my shelves for a long time, like The Book Thief or Children of Blood and Bone, things like that I said I was going to read last year and didn't. So I'm going to try to dedicate the majority of the next 6 months to reading those books before buying new ones. So I think a part of my problem also is that I have a lot of firsts in a series. And so I've gotten to a point where I no longer feel the need to buy the entire series before starting. And I think that will also prevent me from jumping the gun and picking up things that I don't necessarily need or want. I need to count how many books are unread on my shelves, and then we'll see how I can divvy that up during the next 6 months, keeping in mind that I do have buddy reads and things that are coming up. So hopefully we can actually do that, and I'll check in around 6 months and see how that's going. I think this will be helpful though. I think if I focus on that for 6 months and the next 6 months is kind of a free-for-all and I can do whatever I want and buy whatever I want, I think I might be able to stick to it, but we'll see. So my next goal is one that I'm pretty excited about. I am, for the most part, quitting Goodreads. I hate Goodreads. I think it's trash as a platform. It's very much another social media app that I don't care to have. The Goodreads Choice Awards are fucking stupid and are nothing but a popularity contest where a lot of authors, really great authors, particularly authors of color, are always being left out or not considered and whatever the fuck. Y'all know this already. I fucking hate Goodreads. So instead of completely getting rid of Goodreads, because I do want to keep it for giveaways, and I'm probably never going to win those, but I do want to just have it. I'm not really going to be tracking my reading on there though. I will leave reviews. However, I will not be actually reviewing my books on Goodreads. All of my Goodreads reviews are going to link to my StoryGraph reviews. So the StoryGraph will become my primary way of tracking my books next year. And I'm really excited about that because I really love the StoryGraph as a platform for readers that is more than just a social media app. It's really amazing, and it's very interesting that some of the features that the StoryGraph has, Goodreads hasn't incorporated yet, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's another reason that I feel like Goodreads isn't really for readers. At least to me, it doesn't feel like it's still being used with readers in mind. And the StoryGraph is. So I will be writing all of my reviews for the StoryGraph. Only, yeah, that's that. Another thing that I want to start doing is requesting more NetGalley arcs. So I joined NetGalley very late in 2021. I kind of asked on Twitter, is it worth it? Should I do it? And people were like, oh yeah, just don't go crazy because that's when you have a low ratio or whatever. So far I have been granted 4 NetGalley arcs. I've read 3 of them. There's one that isn't due until February 22nd, so I'm gonna read that in January and then review. But I've been pretty good at keeping my ratio at 100 because I've only have 4 books, so it's not a lot. But I do want to try to do a NetGalley arc maybe once every 2 or 3 months, nothing crazy. And for things that I'm really, really excited about. So I do want to read more, but I also don't want to get too out there. Plus I did say that I was going to focus on reading what's on my shelves. So every here and there instead of a couple every month like some people do. I think that would be way too much. So to make it feasible, I figure if I do one every few months, it shouldn't be that bad. Plus well, if I request them early enough and actually get them, I'll have plenty of time to plan them out for my TBR, so I'm not like, oh shit, I forgot about this, I need to read it now and like drop everything else. So we'll see how that goes. And I think the last thing is Game of Thrones main quest is coming up in March. So if you're unfamiliar, Robin Dasha and I hosted Game of Thrones origin story. This is a Game of Thrones readathon that we have created. We're not reading the Song of Ice and Fire series. It's just based on the world of Game of Thrones. So we held origin story, a 2-week mini round in November, and in March we're doing the main quest, which would be a month-long readathon. That will be super exciting. I started working on the graphics and I'm having a little trouble because I have a specific design in mind, but it's not working. But I will be designing all the graphics for that again. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited and I just wanted to put that on your radar. If you're interested in participating in the main quest, but you didn't participate in Origin Story, that's okay. If you decide you want to do next Origin Story, if we do it again in November, but you're not doing main quest, that is also okay. It doesn't really matter. No hurt feelings. So I'm really excited about that. But other than that, y'all know that I don't really do like channel goals. Like I don't set a certain subscriber count that I want to reach or get a certain number of watch hours or views or whatever the fuck. I don't care about any of that. And I also just don't think it's realistic for me to set that as a goal. I'm a black woman with a lot of unpopular opinions. A lot of people are not gonna like the shit that I have to say. That has already been proven. So it is what it is. And at the end of the day, as someone who didn't know BookTube existed for a really long time, the reason that I review certain things is for other people like me, for people of color who are like, I have not seen anybody talk about this book, but I really like it, and it's by this marginalized author. And so that's why most of my reviews are books by marginalized authors. So I'm gonna keep doing that the way that I've been doing it, and I mean, if anybody doesn't like it, they don't have to be here. So there are plenty of people talking about the Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout and Brandon Sanderson and all of that. I think there's enough of it. I'm gonna keep focusing on what I've been focusing on, and that's just what it's gonna be. I'll probably do some more drunk book reviews. I wanted to do them for the entire Wicked Villain series, which I might, I don't know, we'll see. But I do like those. I think I also want to bring back author reviews. I think I really only did one. I did John Green, and I hate John Green, so maybe my next author review will be for an author that I actually like. And I'll probably have some discussion videos coming along as well. Haven't done those in a bit. I've been doing a lot of reviews, and then end of the year stuff came at me pretty fast, so. But yeah, those are all of my 2022 plans and goals and whatnot. Let me know what some of your 2022 plans are. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.